The last 8 weeks of lockdown really haven't been that much of a hardship. Had the family all with me, safe and well, managed to get out daily, enjoy some walks around the village, places that I hadn't actually discovered before. And I didn't really feel right about getting in the car and driving the 20 minutes that it takes me to drive here to Holme Fen, until Boris announced at the weekend that we could spend a bit more time out during the day, extend our exercise routine. So I thought, well, yeah, why not? Let's get up, head over to Holme Fen and spend a few hours getting to know the place again. Hey, Winston, me old friend, have you missed me? I'm not sure whether this will work, but I spotted this nice stand of pine trees here in the middle of Holme Fen. There's a few of them dotted around. They just stand out a little bit from the silver birch. And the great thing about these pines, I think they might be Scotch pines, is they've got a lot of character to them. Yeah, and there's a stand of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there's 8 altogether, but I think I've got about 6 in my frame here. Just stand in the middle here. Some nice side light catching the top of them. Sky's not bad, it's blue, but there's some cloud in there with some nice texture, which was making a little bit of interest. A bit of blue coming through the back. Not ideal, but yeah, I just like the stand of trees standing up. Looked good. So, it's just fantastic to be out. Peace and quiet. The birds. Great to be back. Yeah. So I just thought I'd give you my thoughts on this particular image. So I quite like it. It obviously attracted me to take it because these pine trees here are standing out quite proud in the middle of the fen here, with the silver birches behind. And as I said in the video, I think that they have a bit of character to them, so I quite liked that as a composition. So, but there are some bits that I don't like about this. First of all, the perspective. I used my 16-35. I was quite wide, and therefore the perspective of the trees isn't correct. They sort of look as though they're leaning back, and I think that was just an error when I was taking them. Really didn't position myself correctly. However, I was struggling to try and get some separation from these trees and the surrounding trees behind. There's one here. I didn't actually mind this one as such because it has separated itself from the main stand of trees, and actually quite like that little branch coming in there, sort of pointing you towards the stand of trees. And there's some nice light on that tree in the corner, so that was okay. And I kept this one here to balance the frame, so I've got a tree in this corner and a tree in that corner, so I thought that worked as a balance. But the main thing I don't like about this image is this here. I didn't get the separation between this tree on the left, which wasn't part of my main reason for taking the picture, and the Scots pines here that were. So because of that annoyed me a bit, but I really couldn't do anything about it. So I like the image. It's a nice image. I shall probably go back and try it again. But yeah, they're my thoughts on this particular one. Telephoto's back out. This is a simple shot. Small stand of silver birches. The sun is right behind. It's quite high now in the morning actually. I think it's probably about 8:30. But the light that's coming through the bottom of the silver birches and the backlight on some of the green leaves, and then the light that's coming through the ferns on the floor, I think is quite nice. And there's a bit of separation with these ones. We've got some separation between the two on the left. There's a bare one with no leaves in the middle, so literally just the trunk of the silver birch in the middle, and then there's another forked silver birch on the right hand side that's leaning in a bit. There's some in the distance, but I don't think they'll be too distracting, to be honest. I think that should be okay. I've got a polarizer on just to help bring a little bit of colour out. I'll probably desaturate it anyway, though, to be fair, but at least I've got it in the data. Yeah, just a simple image. Really simple. I think I just might stay around here. That's the great thing about Holme Fen. There's just get yourself positioned. 360, you've got composition, especially with this little bad boy here, 70 to 200. Bang, bang, bang. Great fun. So I like this one. Obviously the thing that attracted me to take this was the light that was just coming through here and lighting up the floor here with the ferns. Really nice. It was quite harsh light, but not too harsh to make it too contrasty. And the thing I like about this is you've got some trees here in the shadow on the left and shadow on the right, and then the one in the middle. And this is the main focus subject of this image. And I guess my thought process for this was it just looked as though this tree was sort of standing as a sentry, guarding entry of people trying to get through to this area behind. So yeah, I like it. I like the backlit, the backlight that's coming through on the leaves. So yeah, I think this one works. I hope that doesn't act as too much of a blocker. I don't think it does. And I actually quite like that little bit of fungi on that trunk there as well. There's a lot of that in Holme Fen. So yeah, I think this works. But as always, appreciate your thoughts and comments too. So the light's getting quite harsh now. It's probably getting on for about 9, half 9 in the morning. Blue sky. So my mind immediately starts to go to black and white using the contrast. And there's a stand of silver birches over here. Really uniform shapes, straight trunks. I've separated the light from distracting the background, and there's quite a lot of darkness in between the bright trunks where the light is hitting it. So that contrast in light and dark should come quite nicely with the black and white. Taken a portrait to extend the trunks to really sort of show the height of the trees. And then a landscape as well. Just crop across the middle, crop the tops off, see what that looks like. The thing when you're walking in the woods, especially around here anyway, is you think, oh, that's it. I've enjoyed it, I'll head back to the car. I mean, just glimpse something out the corner of your eye. And that's what's happened here. There was I haven't got a clue what sort of tree it is. It's certainly not a silver birch, but there's a twisted tree in between two silver birch, one with a fork to the top, both sort of leaning a little bit to the left. And again, they're backlit, quite harsh, and it'll be a very contrasty shot, but I don't know, there was just something that caught my eye, so I just had to stop and take it. Now this was an interesting one. As I said, what attracted me to take this one was this old twisted tree in the background. I just saw it out the corner of my eye, and I liked the fact that there was some light behind it, so it stood out a bit more. And then these two trees here helped with the composition, and the more I looked at it, the more I could see another story here, and I just want to tell you what that is in my mind anyway, in my warped mind. I saw this sort of old tree in the background as a bit airy and a bit spooky, but then you've got these sort of younger trees, and particularly this one here with the branches out to the left and the right. It looks like arms, it looks like it's sort of running away scared, and this one here with sort of arms up running away. So the story was sort of, you know, it's behind you, there's a dark airy tree, and these two are sort of trying to run away. So yeah, that's the story in my head. But I did like the shot. It's, again, there's a lot of nice light coming through here, which helps. So yeah, it's one that I do like. I think the composition works. I like the story behind it. So yeah, again, always appreciate your thoughts. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thoroughly enjoyed myself this morning. Getting out after 8 weeks of lockdown with the camera is just great. It really is. It's great for the mental health. It just cheers you up no end. I'm very conscious that there are a lot of people still that aren't going out, won't go out, can't go out for personal reasons, and that's tough. It really is. But listen, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just fingers crossed that people don't go stupid. I'm in the middle of the woods. I've seen one other person today, a few people in the distance. So it's easy to keep well away from everybody around here. So let's just hope that others don't ignore it and act stupid and we get back into lockdown again. But anyway, I've really enjoyed getting out this morning. I really have. It's been good to get back here to Holme Fen. Light's not been fantastic. I didn't get up really early. It was just a morning out, nothing more than that. And I've taken a few shots that look okay. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope whatever you're doing, you can get an opportunity to get out somewhere local, somewhere distant from others with your camera, and just lift your mental health a little bit, really. Anyway, till next time, I'll see you soon.